Chapter 26. Leaving the Nest.
"This is the place,"
Little Wing announced, her parents and elder sister trailing behind her. She adjusted the saddlebags on her back, containing the last few items she had to ferry up to her new home. Little Wing and her family were located towards the very center of Cloudsdale, buildings and Pegasi all around them. It was bustling in comparison to the outer edges of the city, like where Bo and Windy Whistles lived, constantly busy. The stadium could be seen rising up in the distance, a scant few minutes' walk from their location. The building where Little Wing was pointing to dwarfed several others around it. It was a largely box-shaped building, though designed in the same style as all the other structures in Cloudsdale. Many people, ponies and otherwise, were moving in and out quite regularly.
"I still don't know why you settled for an apartment," Rainbow commented off to the side. "It's not like Mom and Dad are short on bits. I mean, have you seen my house in Ponyville?" "Misty's already moved here, just a few doors away from mine,"
Little Wing shot back as they walked into the reception area.
"Where she goes, I go."
"We could have bought you that house and had you move in together," Bohotov pointed out, if just a bit teasingly.
"Dad!"
Little Wing protested, a blush making its way onto her features.
"You know we're not ready for that. But hey, you'll have to start somewhere." "Well, at least it's not the worst apartment building in Cloudsdale," Rainbow conceded. "You should see the rip-offs they sell ponies over in Manhattan." "Well, this is not Manhattan,"
Windy Whistle said with a small bit of pride for her city.
"We have standards." "Yeah, try telling that to Rarity," Rainbow muttered in a deadpan. "Just when I think her obsession with that place is over, boom, out comes the fainting couch." "I would agree, but..."
Little Wing trailed off, fighting off a laugh.
"She gave me a dress, so I'd better not."
Rainbow just snorted.
"Suck up." "I am not." "Totally a suck up." "Shut up, Dash."
Little Wing flushed, while she and the trio with her moved on past the reception desk and into the hallways. Little Wing grumbled, and Rainbow only snickered wickedly in reply. It was the job of the elder sister to tease the younger, after all. Little Wing led them along the ground floor until they reached the staircase, which led to Rainbow complaining that they didn't need a staircase because they had wings, before being reminded that not everyone in the world had wings like Pegasi. It was then Rainbow's turn to grumble to herself as they ascended 2 flights of stairs, bringing them up to the 2nd floor of the apartment building. They were met with another long hallway with a few intersections here and there, but they traversed down none of those. From the staircase, it was a simple matter of moving down 7 doors on the left until they had reached their destination, Little Wing's own new apartment. Little Wing fished the key out of her saddlebags, letting it slide into the keyhole, and then turned it with an audible click. It swung readily open, letting the ponies emerge into the relatively spacious living area beyond. Past the door sat a space containing a sitting area with several small sofas, a dining table, and to the corner of the room sat a kitchen counter alongside a new-looking oven and fridge. 3 doors sat along one of the walls, each leading to a bedroom, bathroom, and a storage cupboard respectively. Another wall contained a window with the curtains already open, daylight spilling in and revealing the rest of Cloudsdale beyond it. Everything was furnished, having been set up shortly before Little Wing was due to move in. Little Wing lifted off her saddlebags and casually threw them onto one of the sofas, then looked back at her family and shot them all a smile.
"Come on in. My home is your home."
Windy and Bo were seeing the apartment for the first time, though their expressions gave off an aura of approval. All 3 of them had a quick nose around the living area, Rainbow turning on the radio and letting some of DJ Pone3's wubs start to fill the household. She then proceeded to inspect the next most important aspect, the fridge. Cracking it open, she saw it was fully stocked and even had 1 or 2 bottles of apple cider inside. She shot her little sister a puppy-eyed look, who just rolled her eyes in turn before giving a nod of confirmation. Grinning to herself, Rainbow took one of the ciders and fluttered over to one of the sofas. She opened the bottle and sat down and gave a sigh of satisfaction as she took a sip. Though she spluttered a little at Little Wing's comment of,
"Might have to start calling you Zephyr."
Well, this place seems comfortable, Bo noted. I think you'll be fine here.
Well, of course, Windy Whistles chimed in. Any apartment that has our little Philly in it is automatically the current holder of best apartment ever. Of course it is,
Little Wing deadpanned, trotting over to one of the other doors and pushing it open.
And there's the rest of it.
The bedroom was also decently sizable. A good thing, since it was the only bedroom inside the apartment. It contained a double bed, a dresser in front of said bed, and a couple of wardrobes against the far wall. A Wonderbolt poster was also plastered on one of the walls, and several framed photographs sat on the dresser. The photographs all contained images of Little Wing, her family, and her friends. The most recent edition was of Little Wing and Misty Gust at the graduation, snapped by Silverbreeze as the mares had danced together.
Oh, you look so adorable,
Windy said wistfully, looking at said photograph.
Speaking of Misty Gust, I'm surprised we haven't seen her yet. Oh, yeah. About that,
Little Wing said, rubbing the back of her head in embarrassment.
She doesn't know I've moved in yet.
Both her parents looked at her oddly. What?
I mean, I told her I was moving here, but I didn't give a date,
Little Wing explained.
I kind of wanted to surprise her, you know. Hey, Misty, I'm here now, so yeah, or something like that.
Smooth, shouted Ramadash from her position of the sofa, definitely not listening in on the conversation. Little Wing turned and looked through the open doorway, glaring at the back of the sofa where Rainbow casually laid. She trotted back through and walked up to her elder sister, giving her a bemused glare.
At least some of us have special sun ponies. I'm still waiting for you to ask Soaring.
Ramadash puffed up her cheeks.
This is about you, not me. Don't you dare turn this around on me, Squirt.
Little Wing gave her a mischievous smirk, swiftly swiping Ramadash aside her and trotting over to the window.
Well, hey!
Rainbow protested.
Sis, give that back!
Little Wing opened the window as far as it could go.
Take it?
And then she jumped out the window, her wings unfurling to catch her midair. Rainbow watched with her jaw falling wide before she accepted the challenge and charged out the window after her little sister, a rainbow-colored trail being left in her wake. Should we stop them? Bo Hothuff asked in concern.
They'll be fine,
Windy Whistles responded with a laugh, before giving the apartment one last look over.
She'll be fine.
Ultimately, the chase didn't last all that long, Ramadash still being immensely faster than Little Wing was. Not that one could really consider it a victory, though, as in her haste, Ramadash accidentally lost her grip on the bottle, which then hit a wall, showering some random bystander in stray cider. That led to Ramadash and Little Wing both running away, though they were both faster than their poor, soaked pursuer. Little Wing had never heard a griffin swear before, and certainly not with that level of vulgarity. After giving him the runaround, the sisters managed to lose him and changed course back to the apartment building. When they entered through the window into Little Wing's apartment, their parents were both waiting with bemused expressions on their faces. The remainder of their time was spent conversing, discussing Little Wing's immediate plans now that she had her own place. In short, she was going to wait a few more years before signing up for the reserves. Not only did she wish to improve her own flight skills before moving to join the Wonderbolts, but she also wanted to ensure she had a somewhat stable, independent life before reaching that point. Ramadash noted that that was not a terrible idea. Not even she had joined the reserves right out of school. Being the savior of Equestria before that had certainly helped her reputation. Well, you'll get some real working experience in the coming days anyway, Bo Hothuff stated. Speaking of, I suppose I'll see you at the factory next Monday.
Huh. I suppose I will,
Little Wing replied.
Never really thought about it, but I'm gonna be working with you.
A good weird, I hope.
Oh, look at that time,
Windy noted, looking up at a clock on the wall.
We really shouldn't keep you, dear. Unless you need anything else from us, here and now.
Little Wing shook her head.
Don't worry, I think I got it. Thanks, though.
Windy Whistle seemed almost disappointed.
Oh, okay.
Little Wing sighed, moving over and giving her mother a comforting hug.
Thanks, Mom, for everything. You gave me everything. I love you guys.
Little Wing felt some warm tears on her shoulder as Windy Whistles gave an audible snuff. And then from Bo Hothoof as he joined in on the hug, and even Rainbow Dash followed suit. For that moment, the family was just glad for each other's company, content in their embrace. But such things couldn't last forever, and they had to part. Darn it. I promised I wouldn't tear up. Bo said with a laugh, wiping a hoof across his eyes.
That's a promise you could never keep.
Rainbow Dash jabbed before she turned to Little Wing.
I'd better go too. Won't want to get between you and the missus.
Little Wing gave her a momentary deadpan look, but then smiled.
All right. See you soon, yeah. Course, couldn't keep me away, Squirt.
The family said a few final farewells, and then Little Wing saw them to the door. Windy Whistles, Bo Hothoof, and Rainbow Dash all departed, and soon disappeared as they began to descend the staircase at the end of the corridor. This left Little Wing, for the first time in 16 years, completely and truly alone. But she could change that. Little Wing let out a breath, also exited the apartment, and closed the door behind her. It was then a simple matter of moving 2 doors down, and then turning to face the entrance before her. Her ears twitched as she just caught the sound of movement inside, confirming that she was definitely home. Bracing herself, Little Wing lifted a hoof and gave 4 firm knocks on the door. It only took a few moments, but the sound of hooves approaching heralded the opening of the door and the wide-eyed stare of the gray mare within.
Hi, Misty.
Little Wing greeted, offering a sheepish smile.
Guess who finally moved in today?
She was not prepared for the tackle hug.
You could have at least told me.
Misty Gus scolded, thumping Little Wing on the shoulder.
Then it wouldn't have been a surprise,
Little Wing protested.
The look on your face was worth it.
Misty Gus just stuck out her tongue at her mare friend in response. The two had walked back to Little Wing's place, Misty wanting to give it a good inspection, and this eventually led them to curl up on the sofa in enjoyment of one another's company. The day outside beginning to be replaced by the coolness of the night.
Well, I'm just glad you're here,
Misty Gus said.
even if we're not living together. Hey, we both agreed we're not ready for that.
Little Wing replied, with a small frown.
That's a big step. I know. And I still think that.
Misty stated.
I mean, we just got out of school. And besides, we're practically next door. Gotta keep you close.
Little Wing joked, nipping on the tip of Misty's ear and eliciting an embarrassed squeak.
Anyway, how's the library? All the books I could want.
Misty replied with a giggle.
They have me sorting and categorizing them right now.
Little Wing snorted.
I have no idea how you can stand it. Superior attention span? Touché.
Misty laughed, turning to look Little Wing in the eyes.
Really, though, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, so am I.
Their noses touched, each one grinning at the other affectionately. And so, with the two mares cuddling on the couch, their adult lives truly began.